For thousands of years, human imagination has been captivated by a story of a city lost beneath the waves, a place of incredible power, knowledge, and wealth, a civilization that vanished in a single day and night of misfortune. This is the legend of Atlantis. Atlantis is perhaps the most famous lost city in human history. People across generations have wondered, was it real? Was it just a myth? Or could there be fragments of truth hidden beneath the ocean? From ancient philosophers to modern scientists, the mystery of Atlantis has remained alive for more than 2,000 years. And tonight, we're going to explore that mystery together, separating myth from fact and uncovering why the story of Atlantis still matters today. Part 1. Plato and the birth of the legend. The story of Atlantis begins with one man, the Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BCE, Plato wrote two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, where he first described this mysterious civilization. According to Plato, Atlantis was a mighty island nation that existed about 9,000 years before his own time. He described it as a powerful kingdom, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we today call the Strait of Gibraltar. Atlantis, he wrote, was larger than Libya and Asia combined, filled with natural resources, advanced architecture, and a navy that could rival the world. Its people were descendants of the sea god Poseidon and a mortal woman, which gave them both divine strength and human flaws. But despite their greatness, the Atlanteans grew greedy and corrupt. Their ambition led them to wage war against much of Europe and Asia. Eventually, the gods punished Atlantis. In just one terrible day and night, the entire civilization sank beneath the ocean, never to be seen again. For Plato, this was not just a story of disaster, it was also a moral lesson. He wanted to warn his readers about the dangers of arrogance, greed, and hubris. In his view, even the greatest civilizations could fall if they lost their virtue. Part 2. Where could Atlantis have been? Since Plato first told the story, countless explorers, historians, and even fortune seekers have asked the same question. If Atlantis was real, where could it be? Over the centuries, dozens of theories have emerged. Some are grounded in archaeology and geology. Others are pure fantasy. Let's explore the most famous locations where people have placed Atlantis. Theory 1. The Mediterranean, Crete and Santorini. Many scholars believe that Plato may have based his story on real events in the Mediterranean. The most popular theory connects Atlantis with the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete and nearby Santorini. Around 1600 BCE, Santorini experienced one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in human history. The explosion wiped out entire settlements, caused massive tsunamis, and severely weakened the Minoan people. To some historians, this catastrophic event could have inspired Plato's tale, an advanced civilization suddenly destroyed by nature. Theory 2. The Atlantic Ocean, the Azores. Others argue that Plato's story should be taken literally. Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules. That would place it in the Atlantic Ocean. One candidate is the Azores, a group of islands belonging to Portugal. Rising from the deep Atlantic, they are volcanic and mysterious, often hidden by mist. Some explorers have claimed that underwater structures near the Azores resemble man-made walls or roads. While most scientists dismiss these claims as natural formations, the Azores remain a popular location for Atlantis seekers. Theory 3. The Caribbean. Another theory places Atlantis in the Caribbean Sea. The clear waters around the Bahamas have revealed strange stone structures, such as the so-called Bimini Road. Some believe these formations are the remains of ancient Atlantis. Skeptics say they are just natural rock patterns, but the mystery continues to attract divers and adventurers to this day. Theory 4. A lost continent. Some researchers have proposed that Atlantis wasn't just an island, but part of a lost continent. For example, Lemuria was a supposed continent in the Indian Ocean, while some claim Atlantis stretched across the Atlantic like a bridge between Europe and America. Modern science has found no evidence of a vanished continent in these oceans. Still, the idea captures the imagination, an entire landmass swallowed by the sea. Conclusion of Part 2. The truth is, no one knows where Atlantis might be. Earthquakes and tsunamis. The Mediterranean region has always been prone to earthquakes. A sudden quake followed by a massive tsunami could easily wipe out coastal settlements. Plato's phrase, "in a single day and night of misfortune," fits perfectly with the effects of such disasters. Entire cities have been lost to earthquakes and floods throughout history. Atlantis could be a legendary echo of those tragedies. Ice Age, floods. Some scientists believe Atlantis might be connected to events at the end of the last ice age about 12,000 years ago, around the exact time Plato claimed Atlantis existed. As glaciers melted, sea levels rose dramatically, over 300 feet. Vast areas of land were flooded. To ancient people, it may have felt as if the world itself was drowning. The story of a great land swallowed by water could be rooted in these ancient climate shifts. Strange underwater structures. Modern technology has revealed mysterious shapes under the sea. The Yonaguni Monument in Japan looks like stepped pyramids carved into stone. The Bimini Road in the Bahamas resembles a man-made causeway. Are these natural formations or remnants of lost civilizations? Most scientists say natural, but to believers in Atlantis, they are proof that something is hidden beneath the waves. Conclusion of Part 3. Science offers us many explanations. Atlantis could be a memory of volcanic eruptions, floods, and earthquakes. Or it could be a myth inspired by humanity's fear of nature's power. Either way, the geological evidence shows that civilizations have vanished before, and they can vanish again. Part 4. Myths and Pop Culture. Atlantis in Our Imagination. If Atlantis was just a story told by Plato, then why has it survived for more than 2,000 years? The answer is simple. People love myths, and Atlantis is one of the most powerful myths of all time. Atlantis in literature after Plato. The story of Atlantis disappeared for centuries, but during the Renaissance, explorers and scholars rediscovered his writings. Suddenly, people began to wonder, what if the story was true? Writers like Francis Bacon in the 1600s turned Atlantis into a symbol of a perfect society. In his work, The New Atlantis, he described a utopia filled with knowledge and science. Since then, authors around the world have reimagined Atlantis as everything from a paradise to a warning of human greed. Atlantis, in movies and cartoons, Hollywood, of course, has not ignored Atlantis. Disney's Atlantis, the Lost Empire, 2001, showed a magical, advanced city hidden under the sea. Countless adventure films feature divers, submarines, and treasure hunters searching for the legendary ruins. Even superhero universes like DC's Aquaman are based on the idea that Atlantis is a hidden underwater kingdom Each new version keeps the legend alive, adapting it for a new generation. Atlantis, in video games, have also embraced the mystery. From Assassin's Creed to Tomb Raider, Atlantis appears as a place of puzzles, treasures, and hidden technology. These games blend history with fantasy, allowing players to explore what we may never find in reality. Why pop culture loves Atlantis. Atlantis survives because it represents hope and mystery at the same time. Hope. Maybe there really was once a civilization more advanced than ours. Mystery. Maybe it's still out there waiting to be discovered. In the end, Atlantis is not just about history. It's about imagination. Conclusion of Part 4. From Plato's warning story to blockbuster movies, Atlantis has transformed into something greater than just a myth. It has become a canvas where every generation paints its own dreams, fears, and fantasies. Part 5. Truth or fiction? So after all the theories, legends, and scientific explanations, we are left with the central question: was Atlantis real or just a story? Historians generally agree that Atlantis was most likely a myth created by Plato. His purpose was not to record history, but to deliver a moral lesson. To him, Atlantis symbolized a great civilization that fell because of arrogance and greed. However, myths are rarely created from nothing. It is possible that Plato drew inspiration from real events. The destruction of the Minoan civilization after the Santorini eruption, stories of floods and rising seas from the end of the Ice Age, echoes of wars and lost cultures passed down orally for centuries. In this way, Atlantis might be both why we still care. Why does the story of Atlantis still fascinate us today? Because it touches on something deep in the human mind: the dream of a perfect society, the fear of sudden destruction, and the eternal question, what else lies hidden beneath the waves? Atlantis reminds us of both our potential and our fragility. Conclusion. Perhaps Atlantis never existed at all. Or perhaps fragments of it still lie buried deep under the ocean. But in the end, Atlantis is more than a place. It is a symbol of greatness, of downfall, and of the power of stories. For over 2,000 years, this myth has inspired explorers, scientists, artists, and dreamers. And maybe the true treasure of Atlantis is not gold or ruins, but the fact that it continues to fire our imagination. The lost city of Atlantis. Myth, mystery, and truth.